Welcome to Make History Podcast. This is your boy Sean B here with FaithHouse.
Go ahead, sister.
Where we want you to come as you are, connect authentically, grow spiritually, and move forward.
Let's go. What's up? This is your boy Sean B. This is Make History Podcast. We are back once again with FaithHouse. This is not the full crew yet, but just letting you know this is the half crew right now, but you can see us on Facebook as well as we are growing. This is FaithHouse. I'm introduce you to Rachel Davis. Hey. We have Dr. Ivan Edwards here in the building. How are we doing, guys?
Woo! We're doing terrific.
Happy Friday. We made it here.
So this is FaithHouse Fridays. Now, people out there that don't know what FaithHouse is yet, you will get to know FaithHouse soon. And everything that we're doing as far as like programming, different shows, different aspects of learning, characteristics of books. Just there's so many things with FaithHouse that we are bringing to the table in community as well. Outreaches, different aspects of our different professions and worlds. And we're here to talk about them today. So, you know me, Sean B. I've been out there with Make History Podcast, just bringing all the people to the table, just trying to say, hey, we are going to take things another notch, just to another level. And I'm here with my favorite people in the world. These guys are so much. They mean so much to me, more than I even knew, and there are just they brought into my life in a God-given manner, because they've let me say this. And I'm thinking a lot because I overthink. And that's just me, but overall you guys mean so much to me because you bring a lot to the table in my life in a way where I didn't think that I would have to thought about within myself personally. You guys hear me, and also business wise, and I don't want to, kind of be too sappy here, but at the same time, you guys know, I love you guys. Rachel Davis, Dr. Ivan, Dr. Edwards, you mean the world to me. And also, too, I also want to bridge this to make history to my kids, of course. And I want them to be able to see that, hey, we're doing things in the community. We're doing things through faith. We're doing things in a professional way. And also, we're trying to make things happen where we are making history within ourselves. And just to piggyback off of that right now, I want to be able to have you guys share what you guys do. I know what you do, but I want to be able to let you guys speak on your own behalf, on your own professions. So we can start off with Miss Rachel Davis.
Hi. Okay. Well, I am a child of God, saved by grace, and that's the biggest part about me and who I am. And I am wife to Philip Davis, my wonderful husband, and I'm mom to Finley, Declan, and Fisher, my three sons.
Yes.
And they are just so amazing and so fun and so humbling. They humble me every day. And professionally, I have been in healthcare for years. I was a respiratory therapist. I worked in home health and hospice. I worked with patients and then on the business side of things. And so I've just seen a lot of aspects of healthcare. Currently, I am a professional health coach. So what I do is I partner with people and I listen to them and I help them get from where they are to where they want to be in their health and in their life. And so that has given me just a totally solid belief that anybody can do anything in their life if they have the desire and if they have the faith. And I think, so it's just brought me to a place where professionally, I love to just continue to help people become more aware, have more hope, and have just the continued reminder that they are qualified, no matter what has happened in the past.
Awesome.
Amen to that. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Ivan Edwards. I'm an ordained minister. I was ordained many years ago. I've been in ministry for a while. And after that, I became a medical doctor. I'm a medical doctor practicing here in the beautiful city of San Antonio. And I also serve in uniform. I'm a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force Reserve, and I love it. I'm a flight surgeon, and my purpose in life is to articulate what God has for His people and what God has for all people everywhere, and that is to proclaim what we need to do in order to live productive lives and to live lives that please Him. So I'm a dad. My kids are grown, out of the house. I promised my kids, they told me when I started doing public events, Dad, keep us out of your public life. We are private individuals. Don't mention our names. I will keep that promise. Yeah. But they're grown, and I'm happy and fulfilled and ready to go on to the next level of service in my life. Thank you so much for having me come here.
And we also have Willie Barco, or
Baycoat.
Baycoats. I'm gonna say, I want to say Barco, but I'm sorry, Willie. My bad, man. I know you're gonna be watching this. So he's in New Hampshire, and he's a part of the crew as well. And he's a very, very, very brilliant man. He brings so much to the table as far as like FaithHouse and in his personal ways too. He's a very soft-spoken guy, and I wish that he could be here, but I know he's so far. But hey, he's here in spirit for sure, and I can't wait to be able to get him on platform. Man, it's pretty exciting to have him there, and I think you guys can concur.
Yeah, attest to that.
So this is FaithHouse Talks, and so we are going to talk about the way of the world, how we're seeing it, how we just visualizing what we see, and how we focus into so many things that are going on in the world right now that I feel like sometimes that we're not really we're so thinking out the box of everything, whether if it's political or if it's going on with our health, and we're not really looking at it in a way where it's like, how can we be able to be helpers of the world? We're bringing so much things of the world that is so violent, or there's violence happening. There's man, I'm going into a brain. Distractions. There we go. Yeah. So distractions. There's violence. There's distractions. There's elections. There's lies. There's fake news and all this other stuff that's happening right now. And we're trying to get back to the principles, which has always been, to me, and this is the way I feel, and this is my opinion, has always been about faith and somewhere where there's a solid foundation. The foundation has been lost. Now, this is FaithHouse Talks. Now, we have to get 100% real with what we're talking about, because in this sense, it's like this is what we are bringing to the world. We need to have some type of foundation. And we're not looking at the world in a way where we're trying to find a foundation of where we can root from, then we're going to just let anything and everything take over our thoughts, minds, and the way we pursue things.
That's what we're seeing.
That's what we're seeing. So I want to give you guys a platform to be able to speak about the way you see the world in your professions and how you see it. I will let you try. I guess you can try first.
Yeah, I see, like I said in my intro, I just truly believe that if a person can awaken and take personal responsibility, I mean, we all have a story. We go through this life unaware. Things are happening in our childhood. Things are happening to us. We're surviving all of that. At some point, we are awakened, hopefully something happens in our life. Sometimes it takes several big things that are painful, whatever it may be, and we have to make choices about, am I going to move forward in a different way? It totally requires faith, or we get stuck in fear. So as I just love people. I mean, whether I was waitressing like I did in college, I just was always like, taking care of people, talking to people, serving people, wanted to get great tips. So I started to tell jokes, and I could see that made people come alive. I like to entertain them. I mean, everybody has a spirit in them. Everybody has, the great parts about them and the harder, darker parts about them. And so I think, it's just, we look around now and we see a lot of people who are not taking personal responsibility for their life And for their future, they're kind of stuck, in victim or in fear. And that's not a down thing to say. I'm not blaming anybody or saying that, because I just say that because you see they could be so much more.
Right.
If they made a choice, if they got into healthy community, if they received grace, if they picked up all of their faith and just decided, like, every day I'm going to get a little bit better. I'm going to be a little healthier.
And that's in all aspects. Healthier.
I could tell you my story, but you have yours. Yeah. Everybody has their own story, but oh man, it's faith over fear. And it's, our past is in our head, our future is in our hands. And I think the world is so dang noisy that there's so much opinion, there's so many options, there's so many different things that we can go to for fulfillment or for peace. And really, it's just about renewing our mind, receiving that grace and that salvation, and just knowing my life is for a purpose. Whatever I've been through, it doesn't matter nearly as much as what I'm going to do. And my story was created to serve. Your story was created to serve. God does great things with our pain. So there is sin happening all around us. We are a victim of sin. Every single one of us are sinners. We've hurt other people with our sin. So it's not about, let's talk about all that. It's about, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to use our story to serve others? How are we going to heal? We need faith. We need hope. We need to know that we have a future in order to invest in our healing. And to me, health, the first 4 letters of health is heal, H-E-A-L. We all have to heal. Like, if you just think that you don't have nothing to heal from, and then there's that word help, H-E-L-P. Not exactly the same letters, but it's all, those letters are in that word, other than P. But anyway, I'm trying to create a little theme off the fly, but it's not, I'll have to polish that up. But we all need help, and that's where community comes in. And that's where FaithHouse comes in. Like, find a place to go sit at the table with other people that are really working on themselves and want to be healthy. We're not perfect. We're not going for perfection. We're going for growth. We're going in the right direction, not perfection. I think tons of people also are stuck in perfection, and it stalls them from growing and healing and doing, the things so they can really rewrite their story and move forward. Go, Dr. E. That's enough of me for now.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I like to start with, as you were chatting, I realized there's a story in the Bible that's very amazing. Jesus walks to a pond where it's surrounded by a lot of people who are waiting for an angel to come in and stir the water so that whoever jumps in first gets healed. And so that's what's happening in this world today. It's like a pond. Imagine that pond that Jesus went to. A pool. A lot of people were sick. A lot of people were broken. And he singles out one person. And that's what's happening today. With the pool is surrounded by a lot of people who are hurting. As you said, fake news, this, that, too much noise.
Right.
Too much noise. Goes to one single person. Asks him a simple question. Do you want to be made whole? Simple question. And what does the man do? He goes on a rant. Well, I've been here first of all, I've been here for so long.
Let me tell you my story.
Let me tell you my story.
Right.
I've been here for so long. And when the angel comes in and stirs that pool, I have nobody to take, they jump in before me. That was not the question I answered. I asked you a simple question. Do you want to be made whole? Do you want to be made whole? Amidst all the noise, amidst everything, and the excuses, as you talked about. Will this, will that. Well, I've been here for 38 years. I didn't ask you how long you've been in this situation. Well, you don't know that. I didn't ask you that. What's stopping you from getting healed? Do you want to be made whole? Simple and clear. Yes or no? Right. So when we're surrounded by so much noise, we have to get into position. Do I want to be made whole? What is it? There's so much noise. Let's cut out the noise. Do I want to be made whole? just between God and I, do I want to be made whole? Yes. Then, well, he didn't answer the question. What did Jesus? He said, well, rise up, take up your mat, and walk.
Forward. Go.
3 things.
Yeah.
Rise, take up the mat, and walk. So, I use that to challenge people who have a lot of excuses and who are listening to a lot of noise. Get in solitude with your Maker, and He wants you out of that condition.
Yeah.
And He singled you out because He says, do you want to? Do you really want to?
It's personal.
It's personal.
Gotcha.
Are you doing it? No. Do you, me, you. Do I really want to? And that's the question we have to answer. We answer not because I'm answering because I want to please Miss Davis, because I want to please you, I want to please whoever's listening to me. I'm doing it in my companionship with God. Do I really want to? Do you really want to be made whole? Or you want to live with this for the rest of your life? God, I want to be made whole. Okay then. Simple. Rise up. We got to rise up. We cannot let the things drown the desire for us to be made whole. Okay. We have to rise up. There are people who are down and depressed and beaten. God tells you, rise up. Rise up. For those of you who are listening, rise up. Rise up beyond defeat. Rise up in the noise. There's a lot of noise going in between people's ears. Right. I used to call it a tape. What do they call it today? Well, they don't call it a tape.
Yeah,
I told
the narrative.
A narrative that goes on, that's playing between our ears. And people listen to that narrative. It's the narrative that somebody placed in there. It could be a dad who placed, could be a spouse, could be a grandfather, an uncle, whoever it is that placed it. And I tell people, let's get rid of that narrative. You'll never amount to anything. You're not this. You're not that. People listen to that's junk.
Right.
And we have to make a decision. That junk is going away. That man's junk was what he was reciting to Christ.
Yeah, but how do we get rid of it? I still battle it. I've come a long way, but that's what people need to understand too, is it takes time. It takes a lifetime.
Yeah.
Jesus is healing us throughout this lifetime until we go to heaven. I think that's the misnomer also, or just the thing that people are like, well, but it doesn't happen fast enough. Well, but it's not gonna happen fast.
Right.
We have to undo a lot of programming. And I just this morning on the way here was thinking like, man, I just get in my own head and I have these thoughts of I'm not worthy, and then I have a fear of success. I mean, I've identified, so we all have fears. And then I have to think, in the Bible it says we were not given a spirit of fear,
but of power.
Power.
And
love. And a sound mind.
Yes.
So so that brings me to like, yes, you're so right. We have to get out of that crappy narrative. We have to stay in truth. That's where I think we miss doing the work. That's the work we got to do.
Yes.
We got to renew our mind. Romans 12, 1 through 2.
Yes.
Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your body as a living sacrifice, for that is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world,
but be
transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Oh.
For then you may know God's will, His good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Of God.
So we have to get in God's will,
Yes.
which is what you're saying.
Yes.
Meet with your Maker, talk to Him.
Yes.
Do you have the desire to be whole, to heal,
Yes.
to be well,
Yes.
to do something amazing with your life, because
Yes.
He plans to do something amazing with your life.
Yes.
Not to stay downtrodden,
Yes.
not to be under the
Yes.
weight of all the things that
Yes.
have happened to you.
Yes.
God forbid, all the awful things
Yes.
that are done to people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's so
Yes.
much abuse. And that's what you're saying, Sean. You look
Yeah.
around and you're like, how do I make sense of how could God let these things happen? This child trafficking, this, that is a horrible thing. There's so many horrific things being done to humanity, being done to precious people. To me, childhood obesity is super sad. That makes me sad. I can get super down, but there's so much hope.